May 22nd, 1968. Somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, 400 miles southwest of the Azores. 99 men are inside a steel tube 300 feet below the surface, doing their jobs, living their lives, breathing recycled air. They do not know they have 6 hours left to live. At 1900 hours, something happens, something violent, something final. The United States Navy will know what happened within 48 hours. They will have recordings, they will have intelligence, they will have evidence. And they will lie about it for 57 years. 99 families will be told their husbands and fathers and sons died in a mechanical failure. 99 families will grieve a lie. 99 families will never know the truth. Until now. This is the story of USS Scorpion, the submarine that was murdered, and the cover-up that buried the truth for more than half a century. USS Scorpion, SSN 589, a skipjack-class nuclear attack submarine, the most advanced American submarine of its era. 252 feet long, 3,000 tons submerged, capable of 30 knots underwater, fast, silent, deadly. Commissioned in 1960,
8 years of perfect service. No major mechanical problems, no accidents, no incidents. Her captain is Commander Francis Slattery, 40 years old, decorated, experienced, trusted by his crew, trusted by his admirals. His crew is 98 men, officers and enlisted, veterans and new sailors. The youngest is 19, the oldest is 43. They are fathers, they are husbands, they are sons, they are brothers. They left Norfolk, Virginia in February, Mediterranean deployment, 3 months at sea. Now they are coming home. Part 2. The Last Transmission. May 18th, 1968. Naples, Italy. USS Scorpion departs the harbour, homeward bound. The crew is excited. 3 months away from families, 3 months of Cold War patrols, 3 months of tension and boredom and recycled air. Now they are going home. Commander Slattery sends a routine transmission. Position report, status report, estimated arrival, May 27th at Norfolk. The message is professional, routine, normal. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming, nothing that suggests 99 men are about to die. The submarine heads west, into the Atlantic, into the darkness, into history. Part 3. The Waiting. May 21st, 1968.
Norfolk, Virginia. Barbara Foley is making dinner. Her husband, John, is a machinist's mate on Scorpion. He has been gone for 3 months. 6 more days. She has been counting since February, crossing off days on the calendar, writing letters that take weeks to arrive, waiting for letters that take weeks to come back. 6 more days. Her daughter asks when Daddy is coming home. Soon, sweetheart. Very soon. Across Norfolk, 98 other families are counting the same days. Wives making plans, children drawing welcome home pictures, mothers preparing favourite meals. 6 more days. They do not know their men are already dead. May 22nd, 1968. 1900 hours. USS Scorpion is scheduled to make a radio transmission, a routine check-in, position and status. The transmission does not arrive. At the Naval Communications Station in Rota, Spain, a radio operator waits. He checks his equipment.
He checks the frequencies. He waits. Nothing. This is unusual. Submarines do not miss transmissions. Submarines are precise. Submarines are professional. But sometimes there are technical difficulties. Sometimes atmospherics interfere. Sometimes transmissions are delayed.
The operator logs the missed transmission. He reports it to his supervisor. He waits for the next scheduled contact. Part 5. The Alarm. May 23rd, 1968. Another scheduled transmission. Another silence. May 24th. Silence. Now the concern becomes alarm. Messages go out to the Atlantic Fleet. Has anyone heard from Scorpion? No one has. The Navy begins quiet inquiries. Other submarines, surface ships, Allied vessels. Nothing. USS Scorpion has vanished. Part 6. The Search. May 25th, 1968. The search begins. Aircraft launch from the Azores. Ships divert from their courses. Submarines surface to listen. They search the Atlantic, thousands of square miles, looking for a signal, a debris field, an oil slick, anything. They find nothing. The families do not know yet. The Navy has not told them. The Navy is still hoping. But inside the Pentagon, inside the intelligence agencies, they already know. They have recordings from the SOSUS network, the sound surveillance system, hydrophones on the ocean floor, listening for Soviet submarines, listening for everything. At 1900 hours on May 22nd, SOSUS recorded something. An acoustic signature, an explosion. The analysts listen to the recording. They know what an explosion sounds like. They know what a submarine dying sounds like. They know USS Scorpion is gone. But they do not tell the families. Not yet. Part 7. The Announcement. May 27th, 1968. The day Scorpion was supposed to arrive in Norfolk. Instead, the families receive a different message. Officers in dress uniforms, chaplains with soft voices, cars pulling up to houses across Norfolk. Barbara Foley sees the car stop in front of her house. She sees the uniforms. She knows. Before they say a word, she knows. Her knees buckle. Her daughter asks what is wrong. She cannot speak. Mrs. Foley, we regret to inform you. Across Norfolk, the same scene plays out 98 times. The same words, the same tears, the same collapse. USS Scorpion is missing and presumed lost. All hands. We are sorry. Part 8. The First Lie. The families ask questions. Of course they ask questions. What happened? How did they die? Where is the submarine? Can you recover the bodies? The Navy has answers. We don't know what happened. We are investigating. It was likely a mechanical failure. We are doing everything we can. These are lies. The Navy knows exactly what happened. They have the SOSUS recordings. They have intelligence reports. Within 48 hours of the incident, they will have a classified memo describing hostile foreign contact. They know, and they choose to lie. The families bury empty coffins. They hold memorial services. They tell their children that Daddy died in an accident, a mechanical failure, bad luck, tragedy. They do not know they are burying a cover-up along with their grief. The silence has begun. It will last 57 years. Part 1. The Court. June 1968. Norfolk Naval Station. A court of inquiry convenes.
7 admirals and captains sit behind a long table. Decorated officers, submarine veterans, men who have spent their careers underwater. Their mission: determine what happened to USS Scorpion. The courtroom is closed, classified. No press, no public, no families. Only officers, only testimony, only the truth. Or so the families believe. Part 2. The theory. The lead investigator presents the working theory. Mechanical failure. Gentlemen, USS Scorpion was an 8-year-old submarine. Submarines are complex machines. Complex machines fail. He lists the possibilities. Hull collapse.
A weakness in the pressure hull. A flaw undetected during inspections. At depth, the ocean crushes everything. Torpedo malfunction. Scorpion carried Mark 37 torpedoes. Perhaps one malfunctioned, armed itself, detonated. Battery explosion. Submarine batteries contain acid and hydrogen. A spark in the wrong place, an explosion, fire, flooding, death. The admirals nod. These theories make sense. These theories are comfortable. These theories do not start wars. Part 3. The evidence ignored. But there is other evidence. Evidence that does not fit the theory. Evidence that is quietly set aside. The SOSUS recordings. Sound surveillance system operators testify, behind closed doors, under oath. We heard an explosion at 1900 hours on May 22nd. Clear acoustic signature, consistent with... The lead investigator interrupts. Consistent with hull collapse? The operator hesitates. Sir, it sounded like a detonation. External, not internal. But it could be hull collapse. Sir, could it be hull collapse, Lieutenant? A long pause. Yes, sir, it could be. The testimony is recorded. The conclusion is written. The truth is buried. Part 4. The Soviets. There are other witnesses. Witnesses who saw things, heard things, knew things. Intelligence officers testify in closed session, highest classification. We tracked a Soviet submarine in the area, K-class, nuclear, armed, operating within 50 miles of Scorpion's last known position. The admirals lean forward. Contact between the vessels? Unknown, sir, but possible. Evidence of hostile action? We have intercepted communications. What communications? The intelligence officer looks at the court recorder. He looks at the other officers. He chooses his words carefully. Soviet naval communications, May 22nd. A captain reporting successful engagement. Silence in the courtroom. Successful engagement with what? Unknown, sir. The message was fragmentary. The lead investigator speaks. This is speculation. We cannot conclude hostile action based on fragmentary intercepts. Sir, with respect, we cannot risk international incident based on incomplete intelligence. This testimony will be classified at the highest level. It will not appear in the final report. The intelligence officer stares. Sir, 99 men are dead. And we will not start World War III over speculation. Is that understood? Yes, sir. The testimony is sealed. The evidence is classified. The Soviet connection disappears. 2 days after Scorpion disappeared, A memo was written. May 24, 1968. Naval Intelligence Directorate. Classification: Top Secret. The memo describes hostile foreign contact. The memo mentions possible weapons employment. The memo suggests the submarine was attacked. The memo is never shown to the Court of Inquiry. It sits in a classified archive, buried, forgotten, waiting for 57 years. August 1968. The Court of Inquiry issues its final report. USS Scorpion was lost due to mechanical failure. The exact cause cannot be determined. Contributing factors may include hull integrity, torpedo systems, or battery malfunction. No evidence of hostile action was found. No evidence of hostile action was found because they hid it. The report is released to the families, a sanitized version, a comfortable version, a version that does not mention Soviet submarines or intercepted communications or classified memos. The families accept it. What choice do they have? Barbara Foley reads the report. Mechanical failure. She does not understand the technical language. She does not understand hull stress or torpedo mechanisms or battery chemistry. But she understands this. Her husband died in an accident. Not combat, not war, not an enemy. Just failure. Bad luck. The sea taking what it always takes. She can live with this. She can explain this to her daughter. She can grieve this. Daddy's submarine broke. It was an accident. Nobody's fault. Across Norfolk, 98 other families tell themselves the same thing. Nobody's fault. An accident. Mechanical failure. They believe it because they need to believe it. They accept it because the Navy told them it was true. They move on because there is no other choice. They do not know they are believing a lie. The questions that weren't asked. But some people notice the problems. Skipjack-class submarines were the most advanced in the world. No skipjack had ever been lost. No skipjack had ever suffered catastrophic mechanical failure. Scorpion had no maintenance issues before departure, no warnings, no concerns. The captain reported everything normal. The submarine was 8 years old, young for a nuclear submarine, in perfect condition. So why did it suddenly fail? Some officers ask these questions quietly, in private. They are told to stop asking. They are told the investigation is closed. They are told to accept the conclusion. They obey, because that is what officers do, because that is what the Navy requires, because questioning the official story is career suicide. The questions die. The doubts are buried. The truth sinks deeper into classified archives. Case closed. 1968 ends. USS Scorpion is officially a tragedy, a mechanical failure, a lesson about the dangers of submarine service. The families have closure. The Navy has its story. The Cold War continues. 99 men are dead. The truth is buried, and the cover-up is complete. For now. But secrets have a way of surfacing. Evidence has a way of surviving. Truth has a way of waiting. 57 years is a long time, but it is not forever. 2010, 42 years later.
Robert Fountain is 71 years old, retired, living in Virginia. He has grandchildren now. He has a quiet life. He has a secret he has carried for 4 decades. Every year, on May 22nd, he thinks about it. Every year, he hears it again. The sound. He was 29 years old in 1968, a sonar operator. SOSUS.
Sound Surveillance System. His job was to listen to the ocean, to the submarines, to the war that was fought in silence beneath the waves. On May 22nd, 1968, he heard something that changed everything, something he was ordered to forget. He never forgot. 1900 hours, May 22nd, 1968. Robert Fountain is at his station, headphones on, eyes on the waterfall display, listening. The Atlantic is never silent. Whales sing, ships rumble, currents hiss, the ocean breathes. He knows every sound. He can identify a Soviet submarine by the rhythm of its propeller. He can tell the difference between a tanker and a destroyer. He can hear a torpedo at 30 miles. At 1900 hours, he hears something new. A pulse, sharp, violent. Then a sound like thunder, rolling, echoing, expanding. Then silence. Robert rips off his headphones. His ears are ringing. His heart is pounding. He looks at the operator next to him. "Did you hear that?" The other man is pale. What the hell was that? Robert knows. He doesn't want to know, but he knows. That was an explosion. Underwater. Big one. He checks the coordinates. He checks the bearing. He checks the frequency signature.
400 miles southwest of the Azores, exactly where USS Scorpion should be.
Robert calls his supervisor. "Sir, we recorded an acoustic event, 1900 hours, bearing 275, range approximately 400 miles. What kind of event?" "Explosion, sir. Large. Underwater." Silence on the line. "Scorpion is in that area." "Yes, sir. I know." More silence. "Log it. Say nothing. I'm coming down." The supervisor arrives in 10 minutes. He listens to the recording. His face goes white. He makes a phone call, then another, then another. Within an hour, men in suits arrive. Not Navy, something else. Intelligence. They take the tapes. They take the logs. They take Robert into a small room. "What you heard tonight is classified. You will not discuss it. You will not mention it. You will not write about it. Is that understood?" "Sir, did a submarine explode?" "Is that understood, petty officer?" Robert looks at the man. Cold eyes, no emotion. "Yes, sir." "Good. You heard mechanical noise, whale activity, nothing more. Dismissed." Robert walks out of the room. He knows what he heard. He knows what they are hiding. He says nothing. For 42 years. 2010. Robert Fountain is dying. Cancer. Months to live. Maybe weeks. He thinks about his life, his service, his silence. He thinks about the 99 men, their families, the lie they were told. He thinks about the sound. He cannot die with this secret. He cannot take it to his grave. He cannot let the lie continue. He calls a journalist. "My name is Robert Fountain. I was a SOSUS operator in 1968.
I have something to tell you about USS Scorpion. Robert sits in front of a camera. His hands shake. His voice is steady. I heard the explosion. May 22nd, 1968. 1900 hours. Clear as day. What did it sound like? Not a hull collapse. Not mechanical failure. I've heard hull collapses. They're gradual, groaning, creaking. This was instant, sharp, like a bomb. Could it have been a torpedo? Robert pauses. The acoustic signature was consistent with a weapons detonation. External, not internal. Something hit that submarine. Did you report this? Yes, immediately. My supervisors knew. Intelligence knew. They took the tapes. They told me to forget. For 42 years. For 42 years. I signed papers.
I kept silent. I followed orders. Why speak now? Robert looks at the camera. His eyes are wet. Because I'm dying. Because 99 men are dead. Because their families deserved the truth. Because I can't meet my God with this lie on my soul. Robert Fountain is not alone. His testimony opens a door. Other men walk through it. James Henderson, SOSUS operator, different station, same night. I heard it too. We all heard it. Everyone knew it was an explosion. Everyone knew something was wrong. Michael Torres, intelligence analyst. I saw the intercepts, Soviet communications, the night Scorpion disappeared. A captain reporting successful engagement. We translated it. We filed it. It disappeared into a vault. William Chen, submarine tracking specialist. We had a Soviet K-class submarine in the same area. We tracked them both. We knew they were close. Then one of them vanished. One by one, the witnesses emerge. Men in their 70s. Men who kept silent for decades. Men who can finally speak. The lie is unraveling, thread by thread, testimony by testimony. The journalists compile the testimonies. They match the timelines. They cross-reference the accounts. The picture becomes clear. The Navy knew from day one. They had the recordings. They had the intercepts. They had the intelligence. They knew Scorpion did not die from mechanical failure. They knew something else happened. They lied anyway. The question changes. It is no longer what happened to USS Scorpion. It is now, why were we lied to? Why did 99 families bury their husbands and fathers and sons believing a fiction? Why did the Navy hide the truth for decades? Why did men like Robert Fountain carry this burden in silence? The answer is somewhere in the classified archives. The answer is somewhere in the sealed documents. The answer is somewhere in the vaults of power. And someone is going to find it. 2011, 2012, 2015. Journalists file Freedom of Information requests. Historians demand access to classified records. Families of Scorpion crew members join the fight. The pressure builds. Senators ask questions. Congressional committees request briefings. Lawsuits are threatened. The Navy resists. National security, classified sources and methods. The investigation was thorough and complete. But the wall is cracking. The secrets are leaking. The truth is rising. Robert Fountain dies in 2011. He never sees the documents declassified, but he dies knowing he told the truth. And the truth cannot be stopped. Not anymore. Part 1. The Release. December
2025, Washington, D.C. 57 years after USS Scorpion disappeared. The National Archives releases 128 documents previously classified, top secret, eyes only. Journalists and historians gather, cameras flash, recorders run. Most of the documents are routine: patrol schedules, maintenance logs, personnel records. But one document is different. One document changes everything. A memo, dated May 24, 1968, 2 days after Scorpion vanished. Naval Intelligence Directorate. Classification: top secret. No fawn. No foreign nationals. No allies. Americans only. The memo is 3 pages long. The first paragraph destroys 57 years of lies. Part 2. The words. The memo reads: Subject: USS Scorpion, SSN 589, Preliminary Intelligence Assessment. At approximately 1900 hours on the 22nd of May 1968, SOSUS arrays recorded an acoustic event consistent with underwater detonation in the vicinity of USS Scorpion's projected track.
Subsequent analysis of Soviet naval communications intercepted by NSA indicates hostile foreign contact between a Soviet K-class submarine and an unidentified American vessel in the same operational area. Soviet communications reference successful engagement and neutralization of target. Assessment: USS Scorpion was likely engaged by Soviet naval forces. Weapons employment is suspected. Mechanical failure as cause of loss is inconsistent with available evidence. Recommendation: this assessment should remain classified at the highest level to prevent escalation of current tensions with the Soviet Union. Hostile foreign contact, weapons employment, successful engagement, neutralization. The Navy knew. Within 48 hours, they knew Scorpion was attacked. They knew it was the Soviets. They knew mechanical failure was a lie. And they buried it anyway. The timeline becomes clear. May 22nd, 1900 hours. Scorpion is attacked. SOSUS records the explosion. May 22nd, 2100 hours. SOSUS operators report the acoustic event. Intelligence is notified. May 23rd, morning. NSA intercepts Soviet communications. The intercepts are translated: successful engagement. May 23rd, afternoon.
Naval intelligence begins assessment. The evidence points to attack. May 24th, morning. The memo is written. The conclusion is clear. Hostile foreign contact. May 27th. The families are told their husbands are dead. They are told it was mechanical failure. 3 days. The Navy knew the truth for 3 days before telling the families anything. And when they told them, they lied. Why? Why lie to 99 families? Why hide the truth for 57 years? Why let men like Robert Fountain carry the secret to their graves? The answer is 1968. January. Tet Offensive in Vietnam. American casualties mounting. Public support for the war collapsing. April. Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated. Cities burning. National Guard deployed. America tearing itself apart. June. Robert Kennedy assassinated. Hope dying. Chaos spreading. And underneath it all, the Cold War. The Soviet Union and the United States, 2 superpowers, thousands of nuclear weapons, mutual assured destruction. Every day, submarines from both sides play cat and mouse,
tracking each other, following each other, occasionally bumping each other. The rules are unwritten but understood. Watch, follow, do not engage.
Because engagement means escalation. Escalation means crisis. Crisis means nuclear war. Part 5. The Calculation. May 1968. A Soviet submarine has just killed 99 American sailors. What happens if the public learns this? The Pentagon runs the scenarios. Scenario 1. Limited retaliation. The US attacks Soviet submarines. The Soviets respond. Escalation begins. Scenario 2. Public outrage. Congress demands action. The President faces pressure. Military options are considered. Scenario 3. Nuclear crisis. Both sides go to high alert, fingers on buttons, one mistake away from apocalypse. The admirals and generals gather. The intelligence chiefs weigh in. The decision rises to the highest levels. The calculation is brutal. 99 men are dead. Nothing can bring them back. But 300 million Americans are alive, and so are 250 million Soviets. If the truth comes out, millions might die. If the truth is buried, only 99 families suffer. The math is inhuman. The math is cold. The math is clear. The lie is approved. Part 6. The Greater Good. The officials who made this decision were not evil. They were terrified. They lived in a world where nuclear war was not a theory. It was a possibility. Every day, every hour. They had seen the Cuban Missile Crisis 6 years earlier. They had stared into the abyss. They knew how close humanity had come to extinction. And now, a Soviet submarine had attacked an American vessel, an act of war. In any other era, this would mean retaliation. In the nuclear age, this could mean annihilation. So they made a choice. Protect the nation, sacrifice the truth. Let 99 families believe a lie for the greater good. Chapter 7. But what is the cost of the greater good? Barbara Foley spent 57 years believing her husband died in an accident. She raised her daughter alone. She remarried. She grew old. She died in 2019. She never knew the truth. 98 other families lived the same story, grieving a lie, accepting a fiction, moving on from something that never happened. Their husbands did not die in a mechanical failure. Their husbands were killed by an enemy in an act of war. They deserved to know. They were denied for 57 years. Part Declassified documents do not apologize. There is no letter from the Navy saying, "We're sorry we lied." There is no official statement acknowledging the deception. There is only the memo, the evidence, the truth.
And the question that will never be answered, was it worth it? Was sparing the nation from potential nuclear war worth lying to 99 families? Was the greater good served by 57 years of deception? Was the calculation correct? The men who made the decision are dead now. The Cold War is over. The Soviet Union is gone. Only the lie remains, and the families who lived it, and the truth that came too late. The phone calls. December 2025. The documents are released on a Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, the phone calls begin. Journalists calling families, historians calling survivors, children calling siblings. Have you seen the news? Have you read the memo? Did you know? Across America, the children of Scorpion learn the truth. They are not children anymore. They are in their 60s, their 70s, grandparents now. They have lived entire lives believing their fathers died in an accident, mechanical failure, bad luck, the sea taking what it takes. Now they learn the truth. Their fathers were killed by a Soviet torpedo, in an undeclared act of war, in a secret conflict no one was supposed to know about.
Part 2. The Daughter. Susan Foley is 64 years old. She was 7 when her father died. She remembers the men in uniform coming to the door. She remembers her mother collapsing. She remembers the funeral with the empty coffin. She has spent 57 years believing her father died because a machine broke. An accident. Nobody's fault. Now she sits in her kitchen. The memo is on the table, printed from the internet. 3 pages that destroy everything she thought she knew. Hostile foreign contact, weapons employment, successful engagement. Her hands are shaking. Her father did not die in an accident. Her father was murdered by the Soviets. And the Navy knew, and the Navy lied for her entire life. She picks up the phone. She calls her brother. "Did you see it?" "I saw it." Silence. "They lied to us, Tommy. They lied to Mom. They let her die thinking it was an accident." "I know." "Why? Why would they do that?" Her brother has no answer. There is no answer that makes this okay. Part 3. The Widows. The widows are mostly gone now. 57 years is a long time. Most of the women who kissed their husbands goodbye in February 1968 are dead. They died believing the lie. They raised children believing the lie. They remarried and grew old and passed away believing the lie. Barbara Foley died in 2019, 6 years before the truth came out. She never knew. She never had the chance to be angry. She never had the chance to demand answers. She never had the chance to grieve properly. The Navy stole that from her for 57 years, and then she died. A few widows remain, in their 80s now, frail, fading. They learn the truth in nursing homes, in assisted living facilities, from children who do not know how to tell them. Some are too old to understand. Some are too tired to care. Some weep for husbands dead longer than they were married. The truth came, but it came too late. The children are angry. Not sad, angry. They have spent their lives defending the Navy. "My father served his country. The submarine service is dangerous. These things happen." Now they learn the truth. Their fathers did not die serving their country. Their fathers were sacrificed for politics, killed by an enemy, covered up by their own government. The anger is volcanic. "They lied to my mother for 50 years. They let us believe a fiction. They stole our right to grieve properly." Lawsuits are discussed. Congressional hearings are demanded. Apologies are requested. But who will apologize? The admirals who made the decision are dead. The intelligence officers who wrote the memo are dead. The Cold War is over. The Soviet Union is gone. There is no one left to blame. Only a system, only a machine, only a government that decided 99 families were acceptable losses. USS Scorpion is not alone. The declassified documents hint at other incidents, other confrontations, other secrets.
How many submarines were lost in the Cold War? American? Soviet? How many were called accidents when they were attacks? How many families were lied to? How many truths remain buried in classified vaults? The Cold War was not cold. It was a war fought in shadows, in the depths of the ocean, in the silence between nations. Men died, ships sank, planes disappeared, and governments lied, because the alternative was nuclear fire. USS Scorpion is one story. How many others are waiting to be told? What does USS Scorpion teach us? It teaches us that peace is fragile, that the Cold War was one mistake away from annihilation, that men in submarines played games of death while the world slept. It teaches us that governments lie.
Not always for evil reasons, sometimes for survival. But they lie, and the cost is paid by ordinary people, families who trust, widows who grieve, children who grow up with questions. It teaches us that truth takes time. 57 years, longer than most human lives. But truth is patient. Truth waits. Truth emerges. Eventually. Always. 99 men died on USS Scorpion. They deserve to be remembered, not as victims of mechanical failure, as casualties of war. Commander Francis Slattery, Lieutenant Commander David Lloyd, Lieutenant John Burke, Machinist's mate John Foley, Torpedo man's mate Robert Violetti, Electrician's mate Gerald Pospisil. 99 names, 99 lives, 99 families who waited 57 years for the truth. They were not killed by bad luck. They were killed by an enemy, in a war that was never declared, in a conflict that was never acknowledged. They died serving their country, and their country lied about how they died. That is the cost. That is the price. That is what 57 years of silence bought. May 22nd, 1968, 1900 hours. Somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, a sound echoes through the deep. An explosion. A death. A secret being born. Robert Fountain hears it through his headphones. He reports it. He is told to forget. He carries the sound for 42 years. Then he speaks. Then he dies. December 2025. The truth finally surfaces, like wreckage from a sunken ship, battered, incomplete, but real. 99 men died in silence. Their families grieved in silence. The truth waited in silence. 57 years of silence. But silence is not forever. Secrets do not stay buried. Truth does not die with the men who hide it. Some silences are so profound that even decades cannot break them completely. But the truth, eventually, emerges. It emerged for USS Scorpion. It will emerge for the others. Because the ocean remembers. The recordings survive. The witnesses speak. And the dead demand to be known. 99 men, 1 submarine, 57 years. Now you know. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button, because history is full of secrets, full of lies told for the greater good, full of families who deserved the truth and were denied. USS Scorpion was 1 submarine, 99 men, 1 cover-up. How many others are still waiting? How many truths are still buried? How many families are still believing lies?
The silence continues. But truth is patient. Truth waits. Truth emerges.
Eventually. Always.